All right, hello. Welcome into the Geek Garage podcast, the most inclusive and accessible nerd culture audio program on the interwebs. I am your host, David. My co-host, Lindsay, and wife is out this week, but in her stead, returning once again, as reigning champion of the world. I don't know. I'm going to come up with a better intro. I guess like a wrestling type of intro would be appropriate for Mr. Zack Rancourt. Right, Zach?
If you smell what the Zack is cooking. And last night it was Indian food. It was white person Indian food because I'm not great at cooking with the spices and whatnot, but I just went to Trader Joe's and got some things and it was delicious. Yeah. So nice. I can smell what I'm cooking today because I keep burping it up and it's disgusting. So yeah.
Well, I don't think I've ever had Indian food. So
what? You've never had Indian food?
Nah, it's a nightmarish hellscape for me in terms of cuisine because it's pretty much all vegetarian. Like I know that they do like chicken and other things, but like it's my palate just would not agree with Indian food. Like I'm not like, ooh, mayonnaise is spicy. I'm not like one of those like basic white folk.
Ketchup is spicy.
I do have a kind of palate that probably wouldn't agree with Indian food.
Tikka masala is not very spicy. You can get it very plain. Like they make it catered towards white people for certain dishes. So you could get something like a paneer that's not spicy at all. But I mean, I love the spice.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe one of these days I'll try it. But hey, you know what we're not here to talk about today is Indian food. What we are here to talk about is our first annual Festivus 2022. Show of hands out there, which is like fucking two of us. Who has seen or heard of the Seinfeld episode? I don't even think it's called Festivus, or it's the episode where
it's called the strike.
Yeah, and apparently all 9 seasons Kramer actually had a job that he was on strike from at H&H Bagels, the famous H&H Bagels. And that part of the episode arc was pretty fucking funny. But what we're actually here to kind of incorporate into the podcast for the first annual go of this is the Festivus elements, where George's dad, what's his name? Frank Costanza. The really angry dude, just angry all the time. Probably at what kind of a disappointment of a son he raised.
You traded Jay Buhner.
George is getting upset. So Frank came up with the holiday, the Festivus, or Festivus for the rest of us, because he hated all the pomp and frill and ceremony of the regular holiday season, the Christmases and the Hanukkahs and the Kwanzas and all the other holidays that are celebrated in December. And the cornerstone of Festivus was the Festivus poll, the airing of grievances, right?
Yeah.
And we were discussing right before we hit record, like, I can't remember how I came up with this episode. I think I was just driving around the other day and I was like, I thought about that episode and I was like, I wonder if we could like somehow work that idea into an episode. Cause like you and I were going back and forth on some ideas and we were about to do another movies episode, which is fine because movies are great. But like, you have a movie podcast. So whenever I go on your podcast, we do movies always because that's your podcast. And then most of the time you come on here, 9 times out of 10, I feel like it's a movie. So, just wanted to change things up. So yeah. We're going to work in our grievances, both like holiday specific as well as all the ways that our friends and family and cohorts have disappointed us this past year. I'm just kidding. I mean, we will be sharing things that kind of irritate us about the holidays, and shit that has pissed us off throughout the year, but we won't be naming names unless, like, I think celebrities are fair game. Like, if you want to throw some shade at Kanye, I wouldn't balk at that idea. Um, if we want to wax for like 3 to 5 minutes about how Pete Davidson with his goofy looking ass somehow manages to score like all the hot chicks, like we could talk about that too. But I got my topic set out. Zach, are you bringing the motherfucking pain today?
I'm trying to. House of Pain. Jump around.
Jump around.
I have
jump
a
up,
few.
Jump up and get down.
Jump up, and get down, which reminds me of Mrs. Doubtfire every single time I hear that song, or Pringles, because that song was in a Pringles commercial.
Oh, was it?
Back in the 90s when kids, there were things in the 90s called commercials that were not ads on YouTube or ads on Hulu. And we had a lot more patience then because the commercials would be like 2 minutes, but God forbid, a 5-second ad is going to ruin my day. So I don't like ads, I'll just say, but I digress. My list is mostly just holiday stuff. I'm only focused on my grievances for the holiday. I have other grievances, but I don't want to be sardonic or just cynical in nature. So I want us to be kind of happy and optimistic. And I think that this is a very good time of year to take second chances and change the way you are and have, goodwill towards everyone, and charity towards others. So I want to remain positive, but I do want to air some grievances for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And good job bringing that up, Zach. I'm so glad you did bring that up, because that is the cap that I'm putting on this opening statement, is that we will be rounding out the episode with some positive statements. One of my previous jobs, at the end of the week, we would have like an all hands meeting, and we would, at the end of the meeting, we would do like one bad, one good. And like we would talk about, just for a few minutes, like one bad thing that either happened that day or like that week, or some bullshit you're dealing with. And it was like a cone of silence. So like, it was like, hey, like none of this leaves this room. Unless you just admitted to like stabbing someone in the neck, which, I think is fair game. And then you finish it off with a good thing where, you'd end on a positive note. And that's kind of what we're doing here, is to show that this is all in good fun, and that we do actually have some positive things to bring to the table. So, but yeah, Zach, since you are the guest, I will let you go first. How'd you like to do this? Do you want to take turns going back and forth? Would you like to air all of your grievances at once and then switch to me? What do you think?
Let's go back and forth. And if we have ones that overlap, let's just go ahead and just have a discussion about them in general. And you can kind of add whatever you want to it. But I'll get down to my first grievance. So again, love the holidays. However, Christmas is probably my least favorite holiday. And I'll explain hopefully throughout this show. So one of the reasons why the holidays bug me, and this is my first grievance, is that there's so much stress in gift giving. I have friends, I have family who I get presents for, and I pride myself on a pretty good gift giver and a good gift receiver. I'm a person that can get a greeting card from somebody and be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Thank you so much. Keep it for years, put it on my fridge, do whatever. It's the small gestures that count for me. I unfortunately have been burned in the past with gift giving. I had a relationship where I got my ex-girlfriend some stuff after I originally gave her a list about a month and a half before Christmas and her birthday, which was the day after Christmas. Gave her a list of things, or I said, hey, write some stuff down for me, what you want, and then that'll be like a Christmas list, and that'll give me an idea. She got every single thing on that list in the month and a half up until Christmas. So I was kind of twiddling my thumbs like, what do I get? So I've had some for lack of a better term, PTSD in terms of gift giving, and it's
Okay.
always a stressful thing for me. I try to find that unique thing. Like, I want something useful for the person. I don't want to just get headphones for somebody, or I don't want to get a Bluetooth speaker, or I don't know, a subscription to the Jelly of the Month Club. I need to get them something that is unique and useful, but also something that they're gonna like. My
Mm.
mom gets me like first aid kits all the time because I'm a huge outdoorsman, and
Yeah, that's actually a very, I mean, if you're into functional gifts, like as far as receiving them, that's a pretty good one.
it is. But I mean, you can only have so many first aid kits, and so now
This
I
is
have a
true.
surplus. I will be the safest person in the world. I have a surplus at this point now. So
You're going to
it's
band-aid the shit out of stuff.
exactly. It's just it's stressful at times because things go on sale. You get buyer's remorse at moments. You're like, ooh, I could. I'm a deal hunter by trade. I
Mhm.
definitely know how to hunt a good deal. But I look at things and I'm like, oh, is this going to be good enough? Are they going to use this for like a month and then be like, I don't really want that anymore? It's hard, right? I mean, Christmas should be. The gift giving is usually for the kids. The kids, it's great to open presents. We all have fond memories of that. However, I've known like getting my nephews and my nieces and stuff presents. They'll open it, look at it, throw it to the side, go on to the next present. And I'm like, why did I even spend time trying to search for something that I think this child would like? When in reality, I probably could have just gotten I don't know, a Buzz Lightyear toy or something like that. Whatever the hottest toy is. I don't know what kids are playing with nowadays. Tickle Me Elmos, something like
It
that.
is
So,
still
yeah.
Buzz Lightyear because my son is he's obsessed with Toy Story, like the
Well,
whole
that's smart
franchise.
because of the movie that came out this year,
Mhm.
the Buzz
Yeah,
Lightyear origin
he
story.
yeah, he was a little slow to get interested in it. Like he was just really attached to the the four Toy Story movies. I think it was because Lightyear looked a bit different, like a
Yeah.
bit more, I guess, mature, for lack of better words. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, they're definitely still making Buzz Lightyears. He saw one at Walmart the other day, and he was pissed when we didn't get it for him. So oh
Yeah.
well.
So
So
gift giving is a pain in the ass during the holidays, and I just wish people would be happy with any gift. With the thought, I want people to be like me. Why can't they be like me, David? What the hell?
well, buddy, yeah, I definitely get what you're saying, and I share pretty much the same sentiment. Like gift, I have PTSD as well for about or concerning gift giving, because historically I've never had money to give gifts. So I'd like text all my family, be like, I hope you like hugs, because I'm getting you a whole lot of hugs for the holiday season, and I don't mean the Hershey Kiss alternative.
Oh
Um,
man, with the
so
swirls and everything.
yeah, was that the defining a difference between a hug and a
hmm
kiss? I can never
A,
remember what
a kiss
the
was pure
difference
milk
was.
chocolate. A swirl was like white chocolate and
White
milk chocolate.
chocolate. That's right.
Or
That's right.
sorry, not a swirl. A hug was white chocolate and milk chocolate swirled together.
Mhm.
And I always liked the hugs. They always tasted better, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, I know you're. I don't know how I know this. Talked about candy a lot, I think, but I know you're not a huge fan of like just pure chocolate. You like a little
No.
something else mixed in there. So
Yeah, a little something,
I can
something.
dig it. Right. So, yeah, you did mention a little bit ago that for the sake of, condensing and whatnot, if there's some overlap, we'll go ahead and discuss. So there is a bit of a little bit of overlap here, but on the flip side. So, like I said, I do kind of have a bit of a qualm with gift giving, but my main issue, uh, is gift getting. And I
Gift
don't,
getting.
yes. Now, I don't want this to sound like I'm a spoiled fucking brat or anything like that, or
Do
like
you want a
I'm
golden goose? Do you want it now?
not, I'm not looking for a golden goose or a golden toilet to shit in or anything like that. Um, I'll explain. Like I said, I don't have a huge problem with gift giving. Um, but getting gifts, I can tolerate it a lot more when I know exactly what I'm getting. But if the situation is you're going to get a gift from your mother in law, you don't know what it is, but regardless, you have to put on a brave face. Like that is pure fucking nightmare fuel for me. Like I have a shitty poker face. And so if I end up getting like one Christmas, like I got a big pack of like starter tools. Um and functional. Absolutely. Do we need those tools? 100% yes. But like exactly how excited can you get about tools? Like I mean, like unless you like are constantly working with tools and you're like wanting to upgrade to like a better drill that has like 5,000 horsepower, um, then like you're not going to be super stoked about getting gifts, or getting those types of gifts. So like, once again, I don't want to sound ungrateful, because I do appreciate the thought that goes behind gifts, no matter what it is. But at the same time, I already feel uncomfortable getting gifts anyways, period, regardless of what it is, just because I don't know, like it makes me feel weird. Like unless it's my wife, and then I get excited because she never buys me anything. Uh, but yeah, it's just it's a little weird thing, like a little weird personal trait of mine that I just like when it comes to getting gifts, especially shit that like I open it and I'm like, I don't know if I will ever use this, or like it's just
Yeah.
something that doesn't get me super excited. Like it's coming from someone that like doesn't know
A
me a
gun rack?
ton.
A gun rack? I don't even own a gun, let alone many guns that would necessitate an entire rack. What am I going to do with a gun rack?
Oh my god, that is totally something that I could expect to get from my in-laws, because they are like not my mother-in-law, but my father-in-law and my brother-in-law. They are huge gun people, and like guns come up at least once in conversation
Oh
every
boy.
like family get together. Yeah, that's always a good time, and a great way for me to not contribute to a conversation. But yeah, anyways, like I said, a weird little personal quirk, perhaps, but it is a grievance of mine where I don't know. I mean, I'd much rather just get money so I can go buy something that I know I personally would really enjoy and like. So,
All right. Well, good thing I saved the receipt for your gift, so I don't want to. I I know what you mean, man. I think it is kind of difficult at times. Like I was just talking about how my mom sends me first aid kits. Like so, she just sent me a present, and she's like, "Oh, I have a couple Amazon gifts coming for you," and I'm like, thanks. I have a little trepidation because I'm like, I don't know what this is gonna be. And also to clarify, the gun rack quote was from Wayne's World, if you didn't know.
okay,
And like when
I
he,
was like, I feel like this is a reference to something, but I'm
yeah.
not getting it right
Oh,
now.
it's so funny. It's
So
one of my favorite lines in Wayne's World. And then she gives him a gift. He goes, "If it's a human head, I'm going to be really disappointed." so,
oh yeah, I remember
um,
that line.
so yeah, like I don't know what she got me, but I'm sure I'll find some use for it. Like she just, I think, finds random shit and gives it to me. So, or it's like a
Right.
Christmas Vacation where she wrapped up her damn cat, sort of thing. So, but
Do you
I understand like having to put on that face. It's kind of like, yeah, oh, thanks for this.
right, like I almost want to like inject myself with Botox like an hour beforehand so I could just be like permanently like, ah, yes, everything is awesome.
Just get really high or get really drunk and just be like, oh my god, this is so cool. This is what I wanted.
All right, Zach, don't threaten me with a good time.
There we go.
Do speaking of Speaking of your mother, do you go visit your folks during the holidays? I can't remember if you ever said how far they live. If they live far away.
My mom lives in Anchorage, so she's
Oh
up
yeah, that's right.
there. She's been up there for quite a few years. So I visited her this time last year, and it was freaking freezing cold.
Oh
So
yeah, I
not
bet.
fun to do, but I did that. And then unfortunately, my dad passed away when I was 18, so can't see him, but he's in my thoughts. So no, I don't. I kind of just hang out with friends for the holidays, which has been
Hmm.
pretty good, and I'm
That's
enjoying
cool.
it for the most part. I just kind of make it my own thing. And, I get to live vicariously through the kids as they open presents and then just throw them all to the side for one specific one. So, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I feel the same way. Like I feel like Christmas is more about the kids, and that's like we have an understanding with both families, with my wife's family and my family, that like we don't really like if we're going to do gifts for like adult to adults, it's going to be like little stocking stuffer type stuff, like $20 and below, like, the Secret Santa style, where, you're not
Hmm.
gonna go all out. So yeah, the majority of gift giving is reserved for the churns, so to speak.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
but yeah. Anyways, what's your next one?
All right, so my next one is virtue signaling.
Ooh.
Basically, when people are doing things like donating to the Human Fund, and then they have to post it on the social medias,
Human.
and tell everybody, "Hey, I did this," or love giving back to the community. And I am a volunteer. I love to do volunteer work. Fortunately, through work, we do have a lot of different groups that reach out to do volunteer work. I've also tried to explore it on my own time when I have time, but I really like to volunteer. I don't go into it looking for any uh, notoriety or any type of acknowledgement. I just like to do the work because it's like, sweet, this is good for me. I enjoy manual labor at times, and so it's great.
Hmm.
Excuse me. When a lot of the times you see the volunteer work that people are like, "Oh, I helped at a food bank," and it's literally okay. You served soup in a cup and you handed it to people. I mean, I don't really know if that's necessarily like you're doing the best. They have people who can do that. I mean, if that's what makes you feel better about yourself, that's fine. But like, charity and goodwill to men, to everybody, obviously, but the old adage. Um,
Hmm.
I think it's important this time of year, but I just want people to make sure that they're understanding who they're helping and why they're doing what they're doing. It's not a PR stunt, and it's not something that you should post on social media so you can get likes. Do it because it's the right thing to do. Because there are less fortunate people this time of year who just don't have the opportunities that you've been given. Um, and so I think it's really important that people are paying attention to that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, too many work companies will be like, "Oh, we're doing a park cleanup," and they'll take pictures of stuff, and people will rake leaves for 5 minutes, go take a water or coffee break, chat about work, take some PR pictures, and then be like, "We helped clean up this park," and I'm like, "Did you now?" Whereas
Yeah.
me, when I'm volunteering, I'm like sweating, I'm moving stuff. I'm like, boom, what's next? What's next? What's next? So for me, that's the kind of stuff. I donate blood all the time because I have rare
Mm.
blood. So I'm like, that's my duty, man. I got to do it. And I'm not like tweeting about it or hashtagging, hashtag blood, hashtag give. So I do it for the cookies, David. I do it for the free cookies.
That's the reason you should donate blood, is all the free shit you get afterwards. Like
I
sometimes
do.
they'll even
I've
give you
gotten a
like a
lot of
free
free shit.
shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do anything for a free shirt. I will show these boobies left and right.
Oh man, a blue plain blue t-shirt. Yeah, look
Oh
how blue it
yeah.
is.
Look at how blue it is. It's so blue. That's like royal blue.
Royal, the pen that I'm holding in my hand
Is
is
royal
royal
blue.
blue. Good
Oh god,
times.
that's so funny. That movie is under low key probably one of Jim Carrey's best. It's so
Yeah,
funny. We're talking
the
about Liar Liar,
claw.
of course, if no
The
one knows. Yeah.
claw's coming to
Hey,
get you.
Gipper. The claw's gonna get you. So good.
I do that to my son from time to time. Like like he doesn't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but like I'll come up behind him and like tap him on the shoulder with my finger. I'm like, the claw's coming to get you.
He probably thinks that Toy Story is the claw.
Actually, yes. Like he says it about 500 times a day. He'll be like, Dad. And I'm like, yes, son. He's like, the claw.
The claw.
Yeah.
Funny.
In fact, we went to our neighborhood just through this free movie day this past Saturday, where they shelled out the money for to rent a movie theater, and we all got to go see that new Disney movie Strange World.
Oh, cool.
Didn't get to see the whole thing, but I really liked what I did see. The entire time we were sitting there, like Charlie was asking, like, the claw, like, because when we were walking in, he saw a claw machine, and it could have been one of the first times he ever saw a claw machine in real life. And I was like, yes, son, we'll go to the claw machine. And so at one point in time, they started getting antsy. So we decided to ditch the movie and go check out the claw machine. And we did, one of the first ones we did was the win every time, where it's like the rubber duckies, and like, it's not hard to pick up like 7 of those things in one go. But he pointed to, one of the big massive ones where it's like really difficult to win, and it was full of like Christmas plush toys. It took me like 3 tries, but in the last third try I got 2 stuffed animals in one go. I was very proud of myself. I've
Good job.
Notoriously sucked at the claw machine, but I got to be a hero to my son for that moment.
Awesome.
So it was kind of neat. But yeah, I definitely I haven't had that thought in terms of the holidays, but I have had that thought a lot, period. Like the whole virtue signaling and making sure that everyone knows that you're a good person and donating, mainly because I grew up Catholic, going to church every Sunday. And our church was very big into having the mission trips to Haiti and just doing other like things in the community. And like, like you said, it's good to volunteer. It's good to give back, et cetera, et cetera. But like when it becomes like let's take a shit ton of pictures to memorialize this, to show everyone how great we are, or like I'm doing this because God said so and I want to get into heaven, like that's kind of fucked up. So yeah, that's why atheists are better. It's because they truly do kind things out of the goodness of their heart. Right. It's coming from a more altruistic place. So
exactly.
Yeah. Anyways, so my next one is simple: the fucking traffic. I think we can all kind of that's in my notes, the fucking traffic. I think we can all kind of agree on this one, right? Like traffic sucks. You'd think that it would have gotten a little bit better with so much like shifting to online sales, but like that just means the road is, first of all, there's no less cars on the road somehow. I don't know how that works out, but there's not. And then probably just overcrowding in Nashville. Nashville is closed, folks. Go home. Stop moving here. Except Zach, if you ever wanted to move to Nashville, that's fine.
Let's get nasty.
Oh!
You've never heard that before?
I don't think so.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, people say East Nasty all the time for like East Nashville. But yeah, I don't know if I've ever heard. What did you say? Let's get nasty.
Let's get nasty.
That's a funny joke right there. But anyways, yeah. Like I say, even with the online shopping, navigating your way around town to all the different stores is a nightmarish hellscape. Yeah. And it sucks. So I don't know, Zach, you hate traffic, right? Let's talk about traffic.
I'm not a fan of traffic. I think, rules exist for a reason. And when you're on the road, following those rules are meant so that way traffic can flow better. So things like zipper merging and things like using the left lane to pass and not sit in it, or the same thing with the carpool lane. I swear to God, some people literally just close their eyes when they drive and then just say, "Good luck, everyone else."
Good luck, everyone else.
It's entitlement. It's just kind of ridiculousness. And I mean, I'm not going to just point fingers without pointing one back at myself. I've done some stupid shit when I've been driving, but I will pride myself on the fact that I think I'm a pretty good driver. I am a Pacific Northwesterner through and through, but I drive like an East Coaster. I've had many East Coast friends who are like, "You drive like us." And I'm like, "I know. I drive assertive, but I get to where I'm going safely." So, and I just got a new Subaru, so now I can drive even more aggressive because I'll be even more safe. It works like that.
Yeah. Speaking of which, how you liking that new whip?
Loving it.
Yeah.
And it's snowing here in certain parts, so I've been able to take it. I went up snowboarding the other day with it, and it was great.
Oh, nice.
It was Tony the Tiger certified.
Great.
Exactly.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
traffic is a bummer, man. I do a lot of online shopping. I used to be a big Black Friday shopper, like legit go to the store at midnight and go with friends, and I freaking loved it. And I still kind of get a high off of it. When I worked at Target, I ran Black Friday. I was in charge of it all, and it was amazing. I loved the shit out of it. But now, honestly, online shopping is the way to go. So much easier.
Yeah. I don't even think Cyber Monday is really a thing anymore, right? Like it all just kind of starts on Black Friday. Like,
I mean, it does, but it's like Cyber Week and like Black
yeah,
Friday week, and the nominal denominations that they have that you're getting for the certain prices of the items is, it's just that, right? Like you're going to look at it and be like, I'm saving like $12 if I buy it this day, or, oh, they're
right.
showing the full price, but really it's always this price. And so you got to be really careful. But
Yeah.
again, as a deal hunter, I make sure I separate want from need, and I look at and see the best deals I can find. So.
Right. Yeah. So I'll try and keep this story short, but one of one of my very few friends from high school, friends that I actually kind of keep in touch with, um, her name is Laura, and she we spent one Black Friday together. Like we met at like a church or something like that, like 4 o'clock on Black Friday morning, and
Oh, wow.
then we showed up at like the Opry Mills Mall before it even opened, and like there was no one like waiting in line or anything, so we were like walking around the inside and there's like nothing open. It's kind of weird. Like I don't know, it wasn't one of those like typical, like you see a giant mile long line outside the store. Um, but I don't know, it's just a fun memory that we bring up in like a text message, like every Black Friday. We're like, "Happy Black Friday." Like just a callback to like that one time that we hung out. By the way, I didn't have a very eventful like high school career. Like nothing super exciting happened. So this is why this is a story in particular. But she's just a good friend of mine that like actually was nice to me, that like no one ever really talked to me because I wasn't super outgoing. So I wasn't sure as fuck wasn't going to initiate some conversation with some kids that I barely knew, but she like actually talked to me. So just a fun little Black Friday tradition that I have where
Yeah.
happy Black Friday. So yeah.
Oh, that's nice. So it's those
Yeah.
memories. See, and I can poo-poo moments and poo-poo things, but to bring this pessimism around to optimism, I mean, like the traffic sucks, but at the same time, I have good memories of these moments.
Yeah, for sure. You got any more grievances? I still got a couple
I
smaller ones.
do. Yeah, and I'll go kind of
Nice.
quickly on it. So, I love Christmas music. I worked retail for a good 15 years, and it has been ingrained in my mind. There are certain
Mm-hmm.
songs that kind of get me annoying. I know all the memes are like, oh, retail workers after hearing Christmas music, or all I want for Christmas is you. I love that song. I don't get tired of it. I love Christmas music. What I
Mm-hmm.
don't like is remade Christmas music. So
Okay.
I always ask everybody, I go, David, what's your favorite Christmas song? And why is it Wham! Last Christmas? Because Last Christmas by Wham! Is easily, hands down, the greatest Christmas song of all time. I could listen to that on repeat all day long and never get tired of it. I shit you not.
Mm-hmm.
What I
It's a good
don't
one.
like, it's fantastic. What I don't like is when it's remade. There are some good ones out there, but when a bunch of these classics are remade and they're just spruced up because of a different new artist, like a Justin Bieber or something like that. What I do
Mm-hmm.
like is original Christmas music. So Kelly Clarkson is a fantastic Christmas music artist. She does a
Oh,
lot of
Kelly
her own
Clarkson.
stuff. Kelly Clarkson. She's so good. Lady Gaga, same thing. She's amazing. Mariah Carey, obviously, too. But
Mm-hmm.
Wham! I mean, come on. There are so many good original Christmas songs out there. And I understand there's a reasonable expectation for things to get remade eventually down the line. But if a song's
Sure.
only been out for like 10 years, I'm like, come on, you can make your own Christmas song. Just rhyme, I don't know, Christmas with Wishmas. I don't know, something like that. There we go. Boom,
Yeah,
song.
easy peasy.
Yeah. So remade Christmas music is an issue that I have.
Okay. I can kind of see that. I mean, I don't personally share that sentiment because like Christmas music is kind of like like take it
Yeah.
or leave it with me. Like if it's on, if someone insists like, "Hey, we should listen to some Christmas music." I'm not going to, be like, "Oh, I'm not going to be a Grinch." Um uh but like I usually don't just like go like get on Spotify and like, all right, it's time for 25 days of nothing but Christmas music. So yeah, occasionally I'll put some on, but it's not like it's not like in December I will listen to nothing but Christmas music. So yeah,
No, I love
but,
it.
but like I said, I can kind of see where you're coming from. I'm curious to see how you personally feel about this one, Zach. I I used to be on the opposite end of this, but now I've come around. Giving people shit for starting to celebrate Christmas or the holidays early. Now I'm not talking about starting in August because that is too early. Granted, when we're talking about like, oh, I went into Hobby Lobby today and they already had the Christmas stuff up and it's still 90 degrees out. Like, I mean, you probably know this because you worked in retail just like me, that Hobby Lobby and a lot of other like crafting places like put out their Christmas stuff super early is because like artists can get a leg up on like making their holiday stuff
Totally.
for customers. But like I said, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like when people like the day after Halloween, like I all of a sudden just something clicks and I'm like, ooh, like time for the holidays. Like, listen to a little bit of Christmas music and like, excited to see Christmas lights and, um, just getting into the overall like joyous, jovial holiday spirit. And when people poo poo, that's like, you're like, no, wait until after Thanksgiving. And I'm like, okay, look, that's fair. Like, it's definitely important to celebrate Thanksgiving. Because, even though turkey tastes like napkins, it can be prepared in a way where it tastes like napkins and butter. Um, but like, that's just like from the end of November until December 25th. That's just not enough time to like kind of celebrate the holidays. So I enjoy like celebrating as much as I can. So usually, every year I will take the day after Halloween, especially if it's a holiday, or not holiday, a weekend. And I will take down the Halloween decorations, and while I'm at it, I will go ahead and put the Christmas decorations up. A lot of the times, that's also when the tree goes up as well. So there's that. So yeah, I don't really understand people like just shitting on others for like wanting to celebrate early. It's like, relax. It's not that big of a deal unless they're just joking, and then that's cool because I have been known to like not get or not be able to take a joke. So
Mm-hmm.
there's that. But yeah, just let people have things.
I'm
It's
definitely
nice.
joking when I do it, but I am one of those. Of course, insert Obi-Wan Kenobi meme. Of course, I know him. It's me.
I'm him.
Yeah, I'm him. So
Hello there.
I will tell people, yeah, I'm like, come on, let's just wait until after Thanksgiving. Let's wait until December 1st to put things up. We don't need to do it at the start of November. Let's celebrate Thanksgiving and just chill, baby, chill.
Mhm.
But I mean, whatever. If you put your stuff up, I'm not gonna say, "Hey, you asshole, take that down." I make
Right.
jokes about it, but yeah,
Mm.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. It's I get it. Like if your Christmas spirit kicks in at the end or the conclusion of Thanksgiving, that's cool. If it kicks in the middle of October, that's cool too. Like, just like you can give people shit, but like if you're actually serious and you're like really wanting to yuck someone's yum, then, just hit yourself in the dick with a hammer really hard. So,
Yeah, exactly.
exactly. You motherfuckers.
There you go.
Uh yeah, I told you we're gonna get heated in this one. At least I am.
So heated.
All right, what's your next one?
Well, I only have one more
Okay.
actually. And so, because again, I want to try to remain positive during the holidays. And with that positivity comes the decorating. So, you were just discussing decorating, and the Christmas tree is a hallmark piece to any Christmas decoration. However, there's a lot of discourse around how real trees are better than artificial trees. And I say BS, good sir, because artificial trees, I think, are fantastic, if not better than real trees. You
Mhm.
pay one price, they're easy to set up, they're easy to store, they don't get needles everywhere, you don't have to water them, and you get to use them year after year. Some even come pre-lit. That's how awesome they are. And if you
Yep.
want the smell, that's totally cool. Go buy some Febreze, some pine cone Febreze. There you go. I do that. It smells amazing. My
Yeah.
tree looks fantastic, and I love my artificial tree. It's awesome to cut down a real tree for sure, but that artificial tree is just as good, if not better.
No, Pam, this tree is fake. People from Connecticut are gonna look at this and think it's a burning cross.
There you go. Exactly.
Why does it smell real?
You didn't
Oh.
decorate it? Why'd you put a sheet over it then?
I love how that is like the first Christmas episode where they count down and they're like, "Yeah, not great."
Not great.
I really want to know, like, there's like 3 lights on there. Like, I felt like they went out of their way to try really hard to make that tree look shitty in
Yeah.
that scene. Like, I want to know what they did to just like make it look like garbage. We're talking about The Office again.
My
Um,
horn can pierce the sky.
My horn can pierce this. Fa la 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 ka-ching. Yeah, good times. Yeah, so yeah, I definitely get that. Makes sense. So since that was your last one, I think it was pretty much my only one. Or my only one, my last one as well. And that's traveling. This is kind
Mm,
of a big one for me, and it's like there's the whole generic like, oh, traveling during the holidays sucks. Like, yeah, it does. Like, especially if you're flying, like, you know, delayed flights, overcrowded airports, blah blah blah. That all sucks. But like, what I'm referring to is like driving places on Christmas.
ugh.
And nowadays, more often than not, on Christmas, we spend all day on the road. Or at least it seems like it. We spend no time at home. Like we wake up. Um, Actually, last year we did Christmas on Christmas Eve. So we let all the kids open all their gifts on Christmas Eve. That way, like they weren't like just overwhelmed and overstimulated with a billion gifts on Christmas Day,
Mhm.
and just kind of spread it out. Uh, but yeah, like we drove to my wife's parents who live in Shelbyville, which is like an hour and 15 minutes away, and spent several hours there. And then in the late afternoon, backtracked, drove all the way to Nashville for my side of the family. And it's been like that for the last 5 years.
Oof.
And I fucking hate it, like, every year.
Yeah.
It's just like, what fun is that to spend your whole day seemingly just in the car, like driving from one place to another. And it's one thing if, like, you're a kid, or if you're my wife, who can just fuck around on her phone for, like, an hour and a half and be like, oh, hey, we're here. Like, let's get out of the car, kids, and go get some more presents and some more good food. Like, no, like, I'm the one who has to fucking drive around, like, make sure our happy asses get there all in one piece, and, make sure that everyone knows that we're the happiest family this side of the nut house.
The jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the nut house.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah. I hate it, and I'm trying to, like, accept it more as a factual reality. That way, I'm not, like, super irritated when Christmas comes, and I'm like, fucking hell. So yeah, there's that. And then, like, the last one, which is kind of like a broad, like year-long thing. This whole, like, AI generated like profile pics on Facebook.
Oh,
like
yeah.
this is more of, like, a relatively recent thing, but AI generated art has kind of been, like, a hot button topic, like, this past year, I think. And thankfully, like, a lot of conventions and artist like events have shot down the idea of people having, like, AI generated artist booths. Like, they're like, no, that's not art, because a fucking computer did that. But yeah, like, it's just like shit like that. I'm like, do you not understand yet how the internet works? Like, this takes your information, puts in a database, learns shit about you, and really bad shit could potentially happen. Especially if it's using your fucking face. And I'm just like, I'm like Dwight. I'm like, all I see is a primate begging for its life.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's one of those stupid fucking things where I'm just like, I almost did it last night. I was like, all right, maybe I should succumb to the peer pressure. And I found out what everyone was using. And it's like an app that's like $40 for the year. But you get like a 1 week free trial. And I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm going to remember to cancel this. So I'm going to end up getting charged $40. I'm going to be really pissed off. I'm going to punch a fucking hole in the wall. So I was just like, no, fuck that. Like, no one's getting this face. I say that as someone who uses Face ID to unlock their iPhone. But Apple is known to have some of the most secure security. Secure security. This side of the nut house. So yeah, I'm not too worried about that. It should be, but
yeah.
Anyways, yeah, that's it for me. So Zach, you got any peppy, upbeat, positive things that you want to round out this segment with?
Yeah, absolutely. So, without sounding like too much of a Grinch, I really enjoy all the pomp and circumstance that comes with Christmas time, the holidays in general, whatever you may celebrate. It's about being with loved ones, whether that be your chosen family or your assigned family. And that's really important to remember, is there's no set rule for what you need to do for the holiday. I think it's important that everyone just finds joy and happiness in the little things, and whatever it may be. And movies are incredibly important to me, and I think a lot of people know that. Throughout my formative years, a lot of life lessons I've learned have been through film. And I know that sounds cheesy, but at the same time, it's really not. I mean, I've learned how to kind of navigate my life through film. Um, it's a beautiful art form that can teach us so many wonderful lessons. And watching Christmas films like A Christmas Carol is incredibly important this time of year because I lost a friend this year, didn't through death or anything like that. It was just their own projections and issues that
Mm,
they've had.
sure.
But that person was so negative for moments. Like they virtue signaled, like I was talking about earlier, and would talk about how caring they were and thoughtful. But honestly, it was all just kind of a facade because basically what it comes down to is, he was saying people don't change. He was of the mindset that people don't change. And while that might be true in a certain sense, I I can't believe that. In my heart of hearts, I just can't believe that. I believed it with him, but I was mistaken. And so I basically uh recanted on my previous statement, and I believe that people can change, and I think it starts with that optimism and that belief in people, because if we believe that people can change, then hell yeah, they can do it. Ebenezer Scrooge was a man who would pinch pennies and was worried about uh, how many coins he had in his existence, and he never wanted to be anything other than rich. But when he saw the joy that others took in the small things, like Bob Cratchit, whose family was gigantic and would just have a Christmas goose all of these years, and his son was sick, he still put on a happy face and worked a terrible job because it was the right thing to do. So I think taking joy in the small moments is very important for the holidays. I'm very thankful for the people I know, for the people I've met, for the situations I've been in, and for the things that I've accumulated throughout the years. As shitty as 2022 has been, it's also been equally pretty goddamn good. And so I think it's important during these holidays to remember those moments. And so watching Christmas films is great for me because some of them are cheesy, some of them are stupid. But I mean, isn't that part of the thing, right? Like when
It
you
is
worked at
part of
Olive
the thing.
Garden, How much cheese do you want in this, right? You just keep going, just pile
And
that cheese
plus, when
on,
you're there,
baby.
your family.
Yeah, family. Vin Diesel, man, he's the one. So I think it's incredibly important to remember what the holidays are, and even if it's a tough time for you, just know that there is someone out there that does care about you, despite what you may think.
Mhm.
There is someone out there that cares about you, and it's the time to speak your truths and reach out to people, and just have goodwill and care for others. So
Mhm.
yeah, have you seen It's a Wonderful Life?
I'm going to watch it here in the next day or so. I actually have never seen it, and yeah, I don't know why. It's just never happened.
Yeah,
But yeah, I listened to your guys's top five podcast episode the other day when you talked about your top five holiday movies.
yeah,
Wasn't that it?
yeah.
Yeah, and I know that was spoiler alert for all of you listening. But that was one of Zach's top five picks. Um, yeah, I mean, it really sold me on the movie. I was like, damn, I need to go check this shit out. Um, so yeah, there's some holiday movies that I still need to watch this year, both repeat movies and new ones that I've never seen before. So,
Yeah.
but yes, I'm glad you mentioned this. This is actually probably the aspect about the holidays that I love the most, that I care about the most, and that I'm the most concerned about is the family aspect of it all. Going full Vin Diesel. When you're here, your family. Uh, you should be the spokesperson for Olive Garden.
He should be.
Um, but yeah, it's like growing up, like yeah, you want toys and you want new shit and you want people to give you things. And that's all well and good, but like as I got older, the more I realized that like that shit doesn't really matter. And what I really wanted, like I noticed a growing lack of time that I got to have with my family members, with my mom, my dad, my siblings. It's just what happens with families. People, the kids grow up, they leave the house, they get married, they have kids, et cetera, et cetera. And so, and all that happens, and all of a sudden, I'm seeing my family members once a quarter if I'm lucky. And and it's usually a holiday or birthday. And you know, I I don't know. I really enjoy spending time, even with my in laws. Like my in laws are great, despite the shitty gifts that they give. I'm just playing. They give good gifts. I think for the most part they've kind of transitioned to money, so that's good. Makes me kind of sound like an asshole. But I I don't know. I just, I love my family. I know that's kind of like stupid or whatever to say, like, oh, of course you love your family. But, like it's what I love the most about the holidays is just getting to be around family and to talk about old times and, like all the funny, like bad shit that happened in the past, like for like mishaps during previous holidays. Like almost every single year we talk about the one Thanksgiving growing up where my dad decided to try and cook lamb instead of turkey, and he fucked it up royally. Like it was
Oh
so
man.
bad. Like I was even willing to try it, and because I was not adventurous at all as a kid when it came to food, and yeah, and it was bad. We ended up ordering pizza. Like my dad took a bite out of it and he's like, "All right, kids, none of y'all have to eat this shit." And it like comes up in conversation for every single holiday. It's hilarious. So that's what I look forward to the most with the holidays is that and all the pretty lights. I love like going around and looking at the decorations. That's one thing that I really enjoy doing. With the family, like we all get in the car, and it doesn't really matter where we go. That's kind of like the fun of it is just like picking surrounding neighborhoods and kind of like getting lost, and then eventually finding your way back home. It's like a little mini adventure, and lights to guide your way. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. The pageantry, all that kind of stuff. I miss it. My traditions were Christmas Eve, we would all open because I have three siblings, and when I had two parents, and we would each get one present to open on Christmas Eve night. So like I don't know, 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and then where we lived, we had a detached garage, and my dad converted this old shop upstairs in the garage to a room. And so the oldest child would always have that as a room, and it was cool. It was like an apartment, and it was kind of like a coming of age thing. So, anyways, we would all go stay out in that room, and so it was mostly just my older sister for the formative years of my life. So
Sure.
we'd all stay out there and watch 24 hours of A Christmas Story because it was on TNT. So it'd just be playing in the background. We were
Yep.
too excited to sleep because, we were excited for Santa to come. And this was the time of intercoms. So we had an intercom that my mom or my dad would buzz and, have a communication with us in there and say, all right, you guys can come inside. So we'd go to bed at like midnight, wake up at like 5 a.m. or whatever, and then rush inside, see what Santa brought us. And it was so cool. Open up all your presents. Then you do your breakfast, you play with your toys. You don't do lunch. It's just mostly just breakfast. You watch movies, you hang out with the family. And then at night, we did stockings. And that was amazing because I don't know how you guys do stockings. Like everyone does it different. Our stockings, my dad was amazing at it. So he did a lot of candy in the stockings, and then he'd put like some Satsuma oranges in there. But we would get maybe like one decent gift, like a decently sized gift, like a CD or a movie or something like that.
Okay.
And the rest would be like nail clippers and chapstick and hand lotion and whatever, Q-tips, like toiletries and stuff. And it was so fun. It was useful stuff. So we'd always like trade chapsticks and whatever. And it was just a fun thing to do at the nighttime. It made Christmas a whole event. So I miss that
Okay.
kind of stuff a lot, and I'm searching for that family. Like as a guy who's single, I'm searching for that family and that tradition, and I'll get it. I'm optimistic. It's been rough for the past few years, but at the same time, I gotta stay optimistic. Things will
For
get
sure.
better. They definitely
Yeah.
will. So, but yeah, I mean, that's like an amazing part about the holidays that I love, that I am so excited that people get to do it. Like they have their traditions and it's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. I never really thought about it like that, like where if you do stockings at night, it kind of makes like the gift giving aspect of Christmas like span the entire day. Like it's a whole day, ordeal. So that's really cool. Like it's cool to hear like your dad was he combined the like the the gift the type of gifts that are like ooh, this is good to have, or like this is fun, and then like the functional gifts like that are stuff that you would need anyways, like you said,
Yeah,
toiletries and all that.
exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, that's I like those kinds of gifts, like especially that ratio mixture where you get some stuff that it's like the cherry on top, the proverbial icing on the cake, and then you get some stuff like socks and shirts or
And then
like
you
a
get
gift,
legit cake.
and you get legit. Also, like I don't understand why icing on the cake is an expression. Like if you didn't put icing on my cake, like fuck you. Like if you don't chew Big Red, fuck you.
I was
And
gonna
if you,
say, yeah, the Jackhawk 9000 available at Walmart.
this advertisement is dangerous, but I do love Fig Newtons.
And the oh so delicious Taco Bell.
We like to have a lot of fun on and off the track, but today we're here to talk about something serious: snow blindness in cats, and it scares the shit out of us.
Well, yeah, that's great. I mean, like, but let me just hear me out. If you win, what about me?
Yeah, I mean, there can't be two winners. Oh
How
yeah,
can I win? Yeah, sorry.
yeah, that totally makes sense. Like when I said, I was like, that's kind of stupid.
There was a nacho cheese fountain with like 7 different types of cheese coming down.
Oh my god.
Love Talladega Nights. So
you
funny.
are not on fire, Ricky Bobby.
So good.
Yeah.
Yes, but back to Christmas, holidays, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all of it.
Yeah.
Celebrate what you want to celebrate, boo, and just embrace it and love everybody else for it. And just everybody be kind. I've been seeing a lot of good stuff, and the reason why I love that the movie It's a Wonderful Life is because it's just it had such a profound impact on me because of the message that's behind it. And I mean, we define our success and our riches in so many different ways. And I think what's really important is the charity that you can give to others and the lasting impression that you affect others with. And so that's why George Bailey is like one of my favorite characters in film. And it's such an interesting movie because for the first hour and a half, I was kind of bored. And then the last 30 minutes, I was bawling my eyes out. And I was like, why am I crying? This sucks. But I love it every year. It's now a Rancourt tradition. So
Nice. Yeah, that's kind of like number one on my holiday watch list. Like I said, there's a couple movies that I want to revisit. The National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, of course, gotta
so good.
rewatch that. But um, yeah, and Bad Santa 1 and 2, like because they got released around this time, like the trailers always show up on my Facebook memories. I think mainly Bad Santa 2,
Yeah.
which has Kathy Bates, and it's always like the red band trailer, so it has all the swearing, and I swear to God, like I fucking die laughing every time. Like every year I watch the trailer and then another year goes by where I haven't seen it. I'm like, David, what the fuck is your problem? Like it's $3 to rent the goddamn movie. So
Wouldn't
I
want to
think
spoil your trip, Mr. Cheapskates.
Oh my god! So when you guys were talking about Home Alone, I think both on the top 5 and on
Don't Be Crazy.
On Don't Be Crazy, like you were talking about your favorite quotes and things you quoted all the time, and I'm like, that's what I quote all the time. Like, and no one ever like acknowledges it or anything. Like, almost like without fail, at least once a week, I say the phrase, Look what you did, you little jerk.
Look what you did, you little jerk. Also, if I was Kevin McAllister if I was Peter McAllister and my brother-in-law said that to my son, I'd be like, don't ever talk to my son like that. I would go, I will discipline him my way. You do not talk to him like that.
Listen here, you baldy-headed fuck. I work
Yeah.
for the mafia. That's how I
know.
afford this giant fucking house.
Am I under arrest? It's like, whoa, how do you know these questions there, Mr. McAllister? The father.
Yeah, when you guys went into detail about that fan theory,
Shit.
That's how a good fan theory is structured. Like the title of the fan theory, you're like, get the fuck out of here, and then you read into it and you're like, oh my god, what the hell is happening?
Yeah.
Like you feel your soul leave your body and you're like, my whole life is a lie.
It's been a lie. Holy shit.
Yeah. So
I agree. Love Home
Kevin's dad, he was a mafia don.
He was indeed. He was a monster.
Or
an
so
accountant or something like that.
Yeah, fucking nerd. I say that as someone who holds a very nerdy job title. All right. Well, shall we do the our closing segment of shit that doesn't suck and put a pretty little bow on this and sign off?
Yeah, I think that's great.
Shit that doesn't suck.
Right on. Do you want to go first? You got anything lined up? Like I said, or just a refresher for you and for everyone else, that hasn't listened to the podcast either in a while or ever, is just where we make recommendations for any piece of media that we have consumed recently, whether it be a movie, TV show, series, comic book, video game, anything that we have ingested into our brainiums that we would recommend to someone. So
sure. Yeah, I'll go quick with mine. So I have a few, but I have a movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Believe the hype. Everyone has been telling me how amazing this film is, and they're like, Zach, you'd love it so much. And I said, yes, I want to see it. I missed it in theaters, but I'm a Uncle Frank cheapskates. And so I waited till it was on sale. Surprise, surprise. During Cyber Week, it was $10 in 4K. And I was like, bought it, watched it, bawled my eyes out, loved every moment of it. It's my favorite film of the year, even more so than Batman, which I absolutely loved. But it's incredible. It is so good. Everything Everywhere All at Once. I implore everyone to just watch it and just be kind. Because in a world where you can be anything, just be kind. And it's beautiful. I hope it sweeps the Oscars. Michelle Yeoh is a revelation. She's utterly amazing.
Yes.
So, yeah.
No lies detected here.
Oh my gosh. So goddamn good.
I have my 4K physical copy heading
Same.
my way in the mail. I think I'll get it in a couple days. I've been wanting to see it for a very long time. I was like you, I didn't have a chance to go see it in theaters, but I have heard nothing but good things about it. And it was funny, like I kind of sunk into myself a little bit, like turtle shelled it, like when I was listening to you guys the other day on your podcast, where I can't remember if it was you or one of your buddies who talked about like the how stupid it is to do physical copies of stuff like CDs or movies or whatever. And I'm like, I still buy physical copies of stuff.
Yeah, that was Tom. I sometimes buy physical copies, but it's mostly for the digital copy, just because I don't like to collect things. But putting a 4K disc into my Xbox Series X and just seeing that, like, so Lord of the Rings is one of my traditions that I'm going to be starting this week again,
right?
And just watching them. I have them in 3 different versions because I'm a freaking nut job, but I'm going to be watching them in 4K physical disc version for the highest quality, and I am just like so to the moon. I'm so excited. So.
Hell yeah. Speaking of which, I guess I'll make that my shit that doesn't suck. I kind of been revisiting visiting technically, some of the more later Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Cause Christmas, like 4, which is the the Dream Master, and then
Yeah.
5, which is the Dream Child. They were okay. Like I actually really I thought 4 was pretty good. And 5
3 is
was
actually my
okay.
favorite. 3
Yeah,
is
3
3
is
is
very good.
phenomenal. Dream
3 had
Warriors.
so far, like with the exception of 1, like the classic kills, like
Sure.
but 3 like has some of the most like creative ones, I
Right.
think. But yeah, those were good. Pearl, the prequel to X, that is a mind fuck, and definitely suggested to any like true horror fans out there,
Yeah, I
especially
enjoyed it. Mia
yeah,
Goth was fantastic in it. I was kind of bored. I liked X better, but Mia Goth was a revelation. She was
yeah,
very good.
right. I know I kind of go back and forth. I do like X better, but I think Pearl might be the better made movie. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm still going back and forth on how I think about each one, but
Well,
they're
as the philosopher DMX said, X gonna give it to you. So I think that's what we need to remember.
yes. Rest in peace.
Oh,
Um,
art.
oh, let me get a water. And then the pièce de résistance. The fuck no, I forgot about it. Something that you said that jogged my memory. Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh, love it.
speaking of Lord of the Rings, I started watching the Ring of Power. And I have no idea why so many people are shitting on this. Maybe because it came out so close to House of the Dragon, and they were trying to compare the two, like pit them against each other. And it's like, you can't fucking do that. Like, other than both of them being fantasy, they don't really have anything to do with each other. Like they're not really similar. Like one is like dragons and fucking and incest, and then the other is like elves and like wholesomeness and stuff. So like, but I've really been enjoying it so far. I like it a lot,
Yeah.
and I've been trying to spread it out, like basically just do like one episode a day, just to kind of so I can spread it out a little bit, and then I'll probably go back and rewatch the Lord of the Rings and maybe the Hobbit movies and stuff too after this. So
Oh yeah,
uh,
for sure. I'm
yeah,
rereading the books right now, so they've been great. I'll give
yeah,
3 quick ones too. So video game
for
wise,
sure.
I've been playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I'm a huge Call of Duty fan. I have a group of 4 other friends that I really just love to pieces, and we've it was the classic. I know 2 of them in real life, and then the other 2 I only knew through them. And we finally had a boys meetup like last month, and it was so cool. We all just hung out. It was like old friends, right? But
That's cool.
what brought us together was Call of Duty. And when Modern Warfare 2 came out, there's a lot of hate online from certain subreddits because everyone on Reddit likes to hate things. I'm loving the shit out of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. It is so much fun. DMZ is incredible. Warzone is super fun. Yeah, it's buggy, but I'm optimistic it's gonna get better. We've had so many laughs and so many good moments, and I think that's what it kind of comes down to. It's my Yago boys. It's my YAGO Yago boys, and we're all homies. It's super fun. So Call
Mm-hmm.
of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and then also Willow on Disney Plus. I am a big Willow fan, and I have not watched it yet, but I am beyond the moon excited to see it because I love Warwick Davis, and I just want to be taken back to a time that I can remember just eating cereal, watching Willow, and just so happy about what's going on. And
Right.
so I've heard good things about it so far, but it's kind of one of those fantasy, shows that you probably should be a fan of Willow and I have at least seen it to really,
Mm-hmm.
really like it. But I'm
Right.
excited for that, and so that will be very interesting. But yeah, those ones. I can't remember the last one, but for the sake of time, I will just save it at that.
No, those are some good picks, and I appreciate you diversifying a little bit, because normally what gets brought up is movies and series oftentimes, but video games, since I hardly have the time to play, although my time has opened up quite a bit since the Etsy shop got shut down. I now have a bunch more time on my hands, so I'm really hoping to get a PS5 here soon. That would be great, because there's a
Yeah,
lot of games that I
Play God of War. Play God of War, Ghost of Tsushima, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Last of Us. Those games are some of the best I've ever played in my life, and I play a lot of video games.
We actually have both Horizon games.
You lucky bastard.
And I haven't had a chance to play any of Forbidden West yet, but I've played all of the first one, and then I think all except the final boss battle of the Frozen Wilds or whatever. But yeah, there's a couple games like the Miles Morales game, and a few others that I wanted to pick up for the PS4 because they got PS4 releases, but just so many people got them for the PS5 and we're like, no, just wait until you get a PS5 and then pick them up because it makes the game that much more enjoyable. If
I had not recently bought a snowboard and a paddleboard and a car, then I would be purchasing a digital only PS4 for $399 because now apparently they're everywhere. And God of War Ragnarok looks amazing. Video Game Awards are on tonight as we are recording this, so we are still going to see what will happen. But PlayStation has the best console specific games, and they're amazing, way better than Xbox in my opinion. But I still love my Xbox.
I think that's kind of unless you're like a super diehard, like Xbox is great and PlayStation sucks kind of person, it seems to be a more objective truth that Sony has slightly better exclusive titles. At least that's been my personal experience and what the majority of people say. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to snag one maybe at the beginning of 2023. I have heard that they're becoming more popular, and I'm going to try and grab one of the disc versions so I can also finally have a 4K player. That would be cool.
There you go.
So yeah. But anyways, Zach, you want to fill our listeners in on where we can find you on the interwebs?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter. My handle is ZachDale60, and that's ZACHDALE 60. You can also find my podcast. It's called the Don't Be Crazy Movie Podcast. We discuss film, we analyze them, we break them down. Your boy over here, David Dassa, has been on a few episodes, and he will be on some future episodes for sure. But you can find that wherever you get your podcast from. It's a whole lot of fun. And that's, at DBC or DB Crazy Podcast. I can't even remember what the Twitter handle was. I'm also on Instagram at ZachDale60 as well. And my phone number is 555-ZACH. So call for a good time. But anyways, so those are my podcasts. Oh, I forgot. You alluded to it. I have the Top 5 podcast with my friends Tom and Eric, and that one's a whole lot of fun. Just a passion project. But that one you can find on wherever you get your podcasts, and it is also at Podcasts Top 5. That's where you'll find it.
Yeah. I am a huge fan and avid repeat listener of those two podcasts. They're definitely in my weekly rotation. And it's always a good time getting to listen to your stuff, and especially when you pick a movie on the Don't Be Crazy, where it's a movie that I haven't seen yet, so it's an opportunity to watch something new. I've said this plenty of times before, but the questions that you come up with for movies, they're so thought provoking and outside the box. So just, congratulations on that and keeping it going after your co-host change up earlier this year. I'm very proud of you. Overall, just thank you so much for coming on the podcast this time and all the other previous times and the times in the future.
Heck yeah, man. Anytime you need me, I'll be here.
Yeah. And listeners, if you made it this far, thank you so much for tuning in. Like usual, subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. Leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and Spotify. You can donate to our Patreon. if you're willing to shell out a couple bucks a month. We have a couple tiers and includes cool perks like getting to join our private group chat where we talk about upcoming episodes and other kinds of fun stuff. And you get to influence like what we talk about on the show. Yeah, I think that's going to be it. As always, be kind, stay geeky, and eat lots of cheesecake. Bye-bye.